Hello, and welcome to the Reality of Herbal Therapy podcast. Today we're going to talk about shin splints. With school coming on and getting back into school, not everybody, but you start back into sports, and shin splints are a really common thing. So we want to talk about shin splints today. Let me start off with our disclaimer. Do not feel that by listening to this podcast, the speakers have dispensed medical advice to you or have given you the ability to treat yourself or others with this information. The speakers do not directly or indirectly dispense medical advice or prescribe the use of herbs as a form of treatment for sickness without medical approval. It is not the intent of the speakers to diagnose or prescribe. The intent is only to offer herbal information from the herbalist's point of view, only for your consideration. In the event you use this information without your doctor's approval, you are prescribing for yourself, which is your God-given right, but the speakers assume no responsibility. So, now that we got the legal out of the way, let's talk a little bit about shin splints. So, let's start with a story. Back when I first started into junior high, we're talking like the first week of junior high, a friend of mine came to school with tape all over her shins, and I was like, so weird. It's like, what the heck? What happened? And she was running track, and she got shin splints. So I had no clue what they were, and from talking with her, I thought that her bone pushed through her muscle and ripped it wide open, and the tape was holding it closed. And I really thought that for a while. Well, some of my friends that went on to play football in junior high started walking around with this tape all over their legs with the shin splints, and I was just completely confused and baffled. It's like, what are these shin splints? What, and they would talk about excruciating pain and how much they were suffering with these shin splints, and so I was not involved in sports as much, so I really avoided getting these shin splints because I didn't want my bone popping out the front of my leg. So basically, after 20 some years now, looking back on it, I know more of what shin splints are. Let me go into some detail about what they are. So you have the muscle that covers the front of your shin, and then it's connected at your ankle, like on the front of your foot, and at your knee. So there's that length of muscle. It's actually a very thin muscle, and it's not very thick. So strong or strenuous exercise will actually cause that muscle to tear, and it tears pretty easy because it's so thin, and then the connecting tissues that hold it together will also tear, and that's where you get that pain. And sometimes they're really small tears, and it's in different places along the muscle, and that is what a shin splint is. So why would you not want to have these? Obvious pain. It hurts. From my friends talking about it, the pain of it is excruciating. And if you put the pressure on it and hold those tears together, it helps control the pain. So in today's medical world, basically the treatment for it is to wrap it with tape and wait for those small tears to heal. We want to walk you through some things that herbs can do to help with that. But a couple of things with prevention to keep it from happening in the first place is warm up your muscles first. Stretching and warming up your muscles before you get into exercise. And looking back on it, that's why a lot of my friends in junior high went through that and had that pain, was because they hadn't learned yet how to warm up their muscles before they exercised. So it's really important to warm up your muscles. Go through a warm-up routine before you exercise so that you don't have as much problem. Also, if you're changing your routine, a lot of times if you have somebody that's running on flat surfaces and then they switch to cross-country or going up and down hills, that's when you can get those shin splints. So if you know that you're going to be changing your routine, something that you can do to prevent it, and something that you should probably do all the time anyway, is the vitamin pack. The nice thing about the vitamin pack is it has our tissue mend in it. And tissue mend is what we're going to be talking a lot about on how to, if you get shin splints. But the thing about tissue mend is it strengthens the muscles. But we also have healthy cell in the vitamin pack, and the B's and the C vitamins. So you tissue mend along with the healthy cell will make your muscles and your tendons and all the connective tissue in your body stronger because it feeds them. A lot of people will love Tissue Mend because it helps their fingernails grow or their hair get thicker and stuff like that. But it also does the same thing for your muscles. It gives them the nutrients they need to be elastic and that they can move easily and freely, but also makes them thicker and stronger. So, we always, anything that has to do with the muscles, the biggest thing that we always talk about is Tissue Mend, Tissue Mend, Tissue Mend. So that's talking prevented. If you want to prevent it, stretch, warm up your muscles, and take the vitamin pack. So what happens if you're out running and you get those shin splints? Oh, and the pain is just horrible. So start off, you can tape it. That's always a very good thing to keep it immobile so you don't get the tears, but you're wanting to work on healing. So for healing, the biggest thing again is Tissue Mend. Not only does Tissue Mend help build the muscles, make them stronger, gives them more flexibility, but it also will give your body what it needs to heal any tears, breaks, anything like that. We had somebody who broke their collarbone and they started faithfully taking Tissue Mend, and the doctors told them it would be 6 to 8 weeks before they could have any mobility back in their arm because of the break of the collarbone. And within 3 weeks, they were able to do it because they took their Tissue Mend faithfully and consistently. So, if you get shin splints, up your Tissue Mend. We usually say 6 Tissue Mend a day will help, and you can split that up throughout the day, 2-3 times a day, something like that. And what that will do is it will give your muscles what it needs to be strong and strengthen and build up. And then you go ahead and take the vitamin and keep taking the vitamin pack, even though you'll be getting more Tissue Mend. You still want to increase the amount of vitamins to your body so that they can heal and get better. And another thing that we suggest are the PM minerals. A lot of leg cramps, sore muscles, things like that, the minerals will help soothe that and help that out. So minerals are really important to take, and the PM minerals, and you don't have to increase it, just the 2 a day will do what you need. And then the other thing is, if the pain is just unbearable and you can't, it's just too much, Throbbies will help with the pain of shin splints. Another example of that, my mom pulled a muscle in her back, and she was up most of the night in pain and hurting and stuff, and couldn't relax and sleep because the muscle hurt so bad. And in the middle of the night, she's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I have Throbbies." She took some Throbbies, and it helped her relax the muscle and helped basically her cope with the pain of it, and she got through it, and it wasn't as bad. So Throbbies will be your best friend when you're really in pain from those shin splints. So we've talked a little bit about prevention and what to do when you get shin splints. So take this information, go out, and especially if you're someone prone to it, shin splints can happen to anyone that is doing a lot of exercising and a lot of different workouts. So if you know that you're going to be doing something that will put a lot of strain on your shins and on your muscles in your lower leg, make sure you do those things to the prevention, the stretching, the warming the muscles, and taking the vitamin pack. And if you do happen to get shin splints, then remember Tissue Mend, vitamin pack, and the minerals to help strengthen the muscles and make them strong and thick, and Throbbies for pain. So, and we would love to hear how you deal with shin splints. So go ahead and leave us a comment on this page, and we will talk to you guys later.